So let's talk about Call of Duty.
Hey, sure.
Yeah. Let's give other people a chance to talk.
Okay.
What's going on? Tell me about your experience with Call of Duty.
So my experience is I have not really been playing the campaign. I played a little bit, but I've never really been that into Call of Duty campaigns. I played a few of them. And what I saw from this one at E3, I just don't think it's for me. But I have really been enjoying their online, just sort of traditional multiplayer competitive stuff.
So real quick, were the servers only fucked for like the first day, and then it got better, or was that more of an ongoing problem?
I have not had any issues with them.
Okay, good.
This is the first I've heard.
I think at launch it was bad,
Okay.
but then like the next day it was fine.
Okay, I think I waited a couple. I don't think I got it right away.
Okay.
I haven't played any of it. Alex, have you played any?
No.
And Jeff and Dan, you've played some.
I played a bunch of multiplayer.
Yeah.
I'm
So
all with them.
Abby, what modes have you been enjoying on multiplayer?
I have, just like the traditional team deathmatch, domination. Okay. There's another one. I remember playing it in the beta. I don't think it's come up on my like little playlist since, but it was like, it's like the computer hacking thing. Do you know what I'm talking about, Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called.
Yeah, it's some kind of computer hacking thing where you gotta like go to different sides of the map. It's pretty fun. You die, you don't necessarily respawn, I think is how it goes, and it sort of has these rounds. But I've really been enjoying it. I was not super, super hot on Black Ops 4. I liked it, but I didn't love it. I did really love World War II. Yeah. I was like way up on that one. But I felt like with Black Ops 4, I was like never changing my gun. I was never making custom guns in the same way I was for some of the other games, other Call of Duty games I've played. And this one I feel like I'm back to like, I have all these gun setups I like. I'm switching between them often. I'm changing them. There's a lot of good quality of life stuff. Like I have had no issues with the menus, unlike the last game, which there were a lot of issues with the UI.
Cool. So you feel like the systems, like you're on board with it.
Yes, and I like the map so far. I do wish, like, what I really love in Call of Duty maps is I like a good small map, and I like a map that looks weird. Like there was one on like the yacht once, and there was one.
Oh yeah, that was.
I love the yacht one. I think that was Black Ops 2. I think
yacht map.
And then there's Nuketown, which is a classic, and I like those kind of weirder, smaller ones, or ones that are in like a mansion that doesn't necessarily just look like a bombed out war zone. And some of these, they are interesting enough. There's one that's in like Piccadilly Circus, which was fun because I was just in London. So it's like, oh, I recognize this. But I feel like most of them feel like, here's, bombed out train tracks with those like shipping crates. And then here's another map with a bunch of shipping crates. And then here's another map with like more bombed out shit and shipping crates. You know what I mean? Like
I love shipping crates.
I like a
it's
weird map.
Yeah.
I like a map that doesn't just feel like
a cargo hold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That said, the maps are fun to play. I think there's a good variety in the sizes, and as far as like high points, low points, and stuff to do and stuff to hide behind. And I've been really liking it a lot.
What do you guys know? What the team deathmatch size of the teams are?
It's
2020 or is
they have 2020 ones.
Those are separate modes. They have a TDM 20 and a Dom 20.
Isn't there a 64-player mode?
Ground War. Ground War.
Yeah, it's 32 for 32.
Damn, that's crazy.
It's bonkers though. I've tried it a couple times. I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing?
Has anybody?
It's just a lot.
I haven't
just too
tried
much
it
for me.
Have you guys done the campaign?
So
stuff?
I'm almost done with the campaign.
And what do you think?
I love it. I think it's great. So it's doing the thing that Call of Duty at its best does, where it's like really tightly designed combat scenarios, and a lot of those missions are really great and very classic Call of Duty. Just cool scenarios where it's like, okay, it's at night and these guys are going across the field, and every once in a while a flare goes up and you've got a little bit of time to take them out before they get to you.
Gotcha.
There's one mission I just did that's very Zero Dark 30, like coming in raid
set
on
pieces?
yeah, and they're awesome. They're really, really well designed. I think they're also, we saw this with some of the marketing and the way they talked about it coming in, that like we're trying to be kind of grim and serious and real, and it's like
edgy Call of Duty.
So I was kind of worried it was just like, okay, we're going to try to recreate No Russian like 14 times over this game. And there definitely are those times where they're trying to make you like, oh, this is some heavy stuff here. But I just don't think, we talked about, Kojima not really having the chops for the stuff he was going for with Death Stranding. I think a lot of that stuff falls flat. I mean, it's obvious when they are trying to kind of pull those notes. Yeah. And it's just like, okay, I see what you guys are trying to do. Sure.
I do think it opened, because I played like the first campaign mission, and I think the first little like cutscene vignette was like a couple guys like gearing up, ready to go, and then like one guy goes out clearly wearing a bomb vest. You see like a mother and her child like, and then it like cuts to black.
Is that the thing they showed at E3?
No,
they showed the clearing the house.
Yeah. Which I was not a fan of that.
I thought that was really well done. That's kind of that's not like a big set piece combat thing. That's I think they are kind of trying to do the like, are you going to pull the trigger or are you not? Are you going to did you make the right decision?
But it seemed like pulling the trigger was always the right decision, to the point where at least
There's
in
no
this
real
E3,
choice, right?
yes, in the E3 one, it was like she was going for the bomb thing. You did the right choice.
I mean, there are definitely parts in that and in the like more Zero Dark 31 where you go in and it's like, wait, do they have a gun? Should I shoot them? Where it's like you clearly are not supposed to shoot them.
Well, that's good. Is it? Well, I haven't played it, but is it a thing where there are actual consequences if you do shoot them?
I don't think I shot anybody that was not actively shooting at me, so I didn't see any of that stuff.
Because I think that's what irked me is like I don't necessarily think Call of Duty is the right medium for this, but I do think there's a potential for a game to be told that does show the sort of gray areas of these kinds of combat situations, I would imagine, of like, did we do the right thing? Fuck. Like, I shot them. I don't know. Like, let's deal with that. Versus like, nope, we did the right thing.
But you know what? I don't know that I would trust a game. And like, I have not played Call of Duty in a long time, and I've not played this one at all. But like, the one thing I did see from this that someone was calling out from the campaign was that they straight up did the Highway of Death, but then they retconned it to make it that the Russians did it instead of us. So like, there's a willingness there to just sort of like. And then, like, a cynicism that I don't know that the writers of those games necessarily have the ability to do that.
No, I mean, yeah, that's yes.
I just don't think they have it.
Yeah, I think they flirt with the idea of saying things in this game, but ultimately, like, there's not really a lot that separates it from like your pretty average like Modern Warfare campaign.
Yeah,
which is good and well designed for sure. But like, let's not try to make this something it's not. You know?
Sure.
Yeah,
and I'm sure it's fun.
Yeah,
but I think for me, I don't want to simulate war. I want to have a goofy shoot 'em up. You know what I mean?
Right. I think for me, I can sometimes go either way on that. I think it depends for me just how distasteful it feels in my mouth at the time. Like, oh, like this is you're hitting this at the wrong time. This stuff's actually happening. Or versus like, is this campy enough where I can?
I mean, there are suicide attacks and there's like mass shootings in public areas. You know, it does that stuff. It just never really says anything.
I kind of stopped playing the campaign in Call of Duty a while ago. I really just care about multiplayer. So that's all I'm really doing.
And the multiplayer sounds like it is.
I think it's the best one they've done in many years.
I'm jazzed about it.
Call of Duty multiplayer is up there.
It feels good.
Really good.
I'm having fun. I'm excited for their new maps to eventually come. I'm sure they will.
Yeah, and they're free.
Yeah.
I think the presentation is the best it's been since I can remember.
I've seen.
I think there's a sense of like an evenness. Maybe a couple of the shotguns right now feel a little too overpowered, or
evenness in the weapons.
Yeah, because I think that was an issue I had with the last one, where I feel like there was one gun that was like, this gun is good. I'm never going to play another one.
They brought back one of my favorite rifles of like all time that I used to use way back when, the FAL. And it's like there, and I just realized like, oh man, I never should have been using that thing back in the day, but. Anyway, it's just I like the systems they've created around options for the different parts of your weapons, and everything just feels really good. There's something.
It's at 60. It feels
looks
smooth.
like it. Yeah, I mean, as far as I can tell, a lot. I've been playing with more people than I've ever played this game before. Like. I've got now
like friends. You mean?
I've got like 8 people now that I like.
Well, make it 9. I'm signing up.
Well, there's a whole sort of like
hierarchy. It's a wait list.
Oh yeah, there's like this.
Put my name at the bottom. I'll wait.
Tryout period.
Okay,
like, you'll audition. You got a friend on the inside, so you're right.
Okay, great.
And it's actually we're getting to the point where like we can't be in a party together because we have too many people. So
how many in a party?
How are you so popular? I know. Maybe I just don't hang out with any gamers.
Or maybe you just don't hang out with me.
Aww.
You never invite me, Jeff.
Oh, you're right. And
there's never ever been a party you've invited me
That's
to.
what I'm saying specifically.
Hey,
it
Jeff,
hasn't. Yeah.
Invite me to a party. I'll show up.
Okay, cool. Glad to see this is all going to happen. Only 6 in many of the modes.
And they carry with. There's a co-op, isn't there?
So there is, and you can have unlimited. So there's one private kind of thing that you can do where you can play with a bunch of your own party. Yeah. But when you're in that sort of quick playlist, set of like 6 different game modes, they max you out at 6 people in your party.
Okay. Have you tried the co-op stuff?
Yeah, a little bit. It's all right.
Okay.
Even though teams are like 8 versus 8 or whatever it is, for whatever reason.
I could see why.
Yeah, I can see why.
If you have like if a clan or something like that,
sure.
if you get pulled into an 8v8,
it's crazy.
You could destroy the other side, right?
Right. But it's fun. There's always like a very sort of over the topness that some of these games have had in the last couple of years, and I don't know, everything feels kind of grounded in a way that feels fair.
The
balanced.
gameplay.
Yeah. and I'm into it.
Yeah.
I
really
saw
into
the quick look, and I will say for the campaign at least, it's a looker.
Oh yeah,
it looks nice.
Fidelity looks nice. Are you
Video
playing
games look real good right
Are
now.
you playing on PS4?
I'm
or
on
Xbox
PC
or?
with HDR, and it's like that looks fucking good.
Oh, and also,
Do you play with a controller on PC?
Yeah.
I also have noticed like
wow.
the crossplay stuff seems to be working like kind of flawlessly from all my experience.
Well, you got people on a PC with a controller, like Dan. Of
Well,
course.
Playing the campaign. That's what I play every Call of Duty.
So, and I'm, some of my friends in my party were like, "Oh, we can, are we playing people with mouse and keyboard?" And it's not. You don't.
Does it surface?
So it does show. So the way, and again, I don't know the exact, sort of priority, but like they definitely match you up with people who are playing controllers first versus your console, right? So they'll match Xbox people with Xbox and PlayStation people, and then by controller. So I've yet to see outside of that very, very first beta, or maybe it was the end of the alpha. I can't remember.
Getting mismatched or
Right, where I saw like I was playing someone who was using mouse and keyboard.
Yeah,
Okay.
I haven't noticed. I did see a little warning once being like, you're playing with people who might be using whatever, or might be on a PC. But I haven't actually noticed it gameplay-wise. I haven't been a thing that's like, geez, I'm getting dominated by this person or anything like
somebody
that.
spinning around too quickly for a
Yes,
controller.
exactly.
A lot of people, pump up that sensitivity. on
Oh,
the
I do.
controller. I don't know how.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I pump it up a
You gotta
little
like
bit.
ease your way up.
Sure,
but like
yeah.
on Splatoon, boy, that thing's sensitive. I'm like, any little twitch, I'm good.
It's just some people, when you watch those kill cams, you're like, really? How are you doing this and not just, spinning your head around?
Well, I'm excited to hear that the multiplayer is back to Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Like, it's calling
It
the
is
best.
I really like it.
That's
I will
great.
say, like,
from two
it's-
Call of Duty fans. I mean, you haven't played much of the multiplayer.
I'm going to do that. I always do campaign first.
Yeah, I like it is at a point which is I always think a sign of a good Call of Duty game where there are maps and I'm like, this is my favorite map. I like this map, or like I'm looking forward to this map, or I will use a different gun for this map versus like the same gun for every map. I know I keep kind of harping on that, but I feel like that's such a good fun thing of like I'm going to change up how I play per map or per gameplay, event or whatever they're called.
I'm a kind of more. I like Call of Duty. Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
I'm a Call of Duty fan.
Like,
Thanks, Marlon.
They should have sent the porter. I like Call of Duty campaign stuff usually. I think right now I'm not feeling it. So
Yeah.
like I'm not trying to say that in a judgy way or anything like that. Because I think it's from what I've seen is like, wow, this looks really
intense.
good. And also this looks like they are going for like, we're edgy. And I
Right.
think some of that mix for me right now is just like, you know what? I don't want to deal with that right now, but maybe I'll come back to it when I feel like I'm in a better place. But I'm glad to hear that I might go in for the multiplayer for you all.
Oh yeah, I'll play with you.
I mean,
Yeah.
because getting in there virtually just
PS4.
I suck at it.
That's okay.
I'm terrible.
let's do PS4.
Maybe we'll see.
I'm on PS4.
We'll see.
I mean,
You and 80% of the people who play Call of Duty multiplayer, man, they all suck. They're all
think?
terrible. Yeah, there's
It's also
20%.
like you ease into it, it's fine.
There are 20% of the people who are too good, and
Too
then
good.
80% of the people that are not good enough.
Yes.